Hello, welcome back to another Chief Talks. Today I am going to be talking about should URO be banned in Modern? When always I think of this card, I think there's two people when it comes to this. One who believe URO should be banned because it is too strong and oppressive and it runs over the format. And then people who are wrong. So let's get into this. I will be giving two sides. I have asked my friend about what they think allows URO to be in this format. And I will be having my own opinion on why I think it should not be in this format. But it is set up to give you two sides of the point and let you decide what you think should happen, if it does belong or does not belong. But I am on the side of it should be banned. So I'll try to keep it more precise, concise, and we'll try to have quicker videos. Let's get into it. Reasons why it does not deserve a ban. Number one. Whoa, the win rate is not above 54%. Only WotC has this data. So the win rate, which we do not know 100%, is below 54%, but we're just guessing because we don't have that data. But generally, when a deck is a problem, the win rate is above 54%. That means it is too high for what Wizards has set a standard on for a deck to have as a winning percentage. So the reason why Inverter wasn't banned back in the day was because WotC released a memo during the ban announcement that we are not going to ban Inverter because it only has a 49% win rate, which was a joke. Do you want to know why it had a 49% win rate? Because bad players played the deck. It's not like they're bad at the game, but it's just picking up the deck, putting it through a league, going 0-3 drop, and wondering why. They don't have the experience. They don't have that practice. And so they lowered the win rate. Was it too good of a deck in the format? Yes. It's banned. Multiple things are now banned. But the argument that percentage should be what allows a deck to be in the format or not is one thing I don't like. But it is a very strong point as to why it is still here. That if WotC knows that this card is problematic and they see that the win rate is too high, that they would have already banned it. And so I respect their point for making this. So next one. Its power level is not high enough. It is just an annoying card to play against. That is very true. The card is a very annoying card to go up against, which I will get into, but I agree with them. It is not at the Oko level. I think it is definitely below that, but I think it is above the rest of the format. And so I can agree with this point. Wizards doesn't ban annoying cards, such as Tron, the Tron lands. Everyone's been complaining about that forever. Creeping Chill. Who knows why they printed this freaking free effect. I was not a fan. Boggles and Valakut. These were all cards that people wanted banned just because they were going annoying to go up against. I will admit, looking back, I am happy we didn't. I'm happy that we let it ride and WotC let us have it. Because you look at it, all these cards, they're no longer that big of a problem. They are less annoying, but they are not as dominant as they once were. And when Dredge was a problem, they banned Golgari Grave Troll. But also Creeping Show wasn't a thing yet. And so I like WotC being the parents watching over us, that they make the decisions and we can complain, but then they're the ones mostly making good decisions. But I like that they're laid back. They hold back their decisions on just bam, 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 bam. That we're not at that Yu-Gi-Oh point yet. The play pattern is encouraging games of Magic, not negating one side from playing, such as Lantern. What this point is meaning is people were complaining about Lantern back in the day because it was not fun to play against. No one had fun. The only person having fun was the person playing the deck, and they were having fun because the other person was in complete disgust as to why they were actually playing this game, which is very respectable. You know why? Because I played Lantern. I love that deck. It felt so good to not let other people play Magic. But it's gone now, so thank you. And also it sucks. Karn ruined all my prison strategies. But URO does encourage games of Magic. If I'm a URO player against another URO player, they are going to be able to play a game of Magic with me. We are not going to be having one side completely negating the other person. That is caused by Teferi. It's a true point. What can I say? So it does let us play Magic. We're going to be playing a very long, grindy game of Magic. And if one Uro lives, generally that person will win the game. It feels kind of like a Jace. If they ban Uro due to only community outcry, it isn't fair they leave the other nuisance cards in the format. This point gets me as well. If WotC bans Uro because of the outcry that we have caused, that the multiple people thinking that it's too good for the format, why wouldn't they ban all the other cards that we complain about? Why wouldn't they ban the Veil of Summer, the Force of Negation? But then this goes all the way back to, why didn't you ban Tron when everyone was complaining? Like, they would have to change their whole ban philosophy and change how the game works. So I agree with this. I do not want them to ban Uro because of community outcry. I would want them to ban it due to its win percentage being far above normal, it diluting the format to where it's 40% of one deck again, or I had one more point. Fudge. Or Uro. I'm blank. I had this all laid out. Ban Uro, ban Uro, ban Uro. Who cares? I can't remember. Next point. Fudge. It is easy to answer with a variety of recent cards printed and older cards, such as Cling to Dust. Cling to Dust is one of the most powerful cards printed recently as well. A 1-mana card engine. That card's insane, but yes, it does answer Uro quite cleanly, and it'll answer it at different points in the game when you use other resources to allow you to use it as your escape cost rather than the initial cost. Nihil Spellbomb, it's a clean answer as well, and it lets you draw your card. And these cards are main deckable as well. And Aether Gust. Aether Gust, sadly, is also main deckable. These three, and there's many more, are cards that are played heavily that do answer Uro quite easily and that are very diverse to be played against multiple decks or in the main board. Okay, let's move on to why Uro deserves a ban. This is my side. It is annoying, but it is due to that card's strength and recursion from one copy. So I think the card is too strong, and that's why I find it annoying. And I find it annoying that one copy is multiple, which I will get into later. But I think what it does for the 4-mana escape is too strong. I think that should be a higher costing card to cast for what it gives you. Its strength versus any deck type. It is amazing against aggro. It is amazing against control. It is amazing against mid-range. You generally almost never board it out. The only time you're boarding out is when you suspect that you will not be able to cast it the second time. But generally, it always is in your deck, which is insane. Cards like this that are good against everything are cards that usually tend to cause problems. Like you look at Oko, it's Big Brother. Oko was phenomenal in all three of these cases. And same with Uro, which is absolutely insane, the amount of advantage. It will win the game against all three of these decks. I don't like the strength of it. It dilutes deck diversity, having 10 versions of Uro. You look at MTG Goldfish right now, there is, number one, the definition of it is Uro pile. It is Sultai Uro, Teamer Uro, 4-color Uro, 5-color Uro, 6-color Uro, colorless. There's all these Uro piles that are in this. And I think it's actually just ridiculous. And what did this before? Companions and Oko. Companions made it so that it was basically a 3-companion metagame. The reason why it seemed diverse was because you had 15 versions of Lurrus running around. Boggles Oko, Control Oko, Death Shadow Oko. Oh, so sorry. Lurrus. Death Shadow Oko, Boggles Oko. I just did it again. Boggles, Lurrus, Death Shadow, Lurrus. 15 versions of Lurrus. And then the other one was Oko. We had 40% of our metagame being Oko. That probably is a hyperbole number, but probably not that far off either. Oko ran over the game of Magic. And you look at Uro, it is lower. It is at 10%. But we are also in a pandemic, so we are just playing online. And people don't want to play the Uro deck over and over. One, because for some people it's not that fun. But two, it is very expensive to play an Uro deck. And a lot of people don't have the money during a pandemic to shove out $1,000 to buy this deck. or having to pay a higher subscription fee to rent it. Oh, sorry. So there's no paper magic, and so that's why people are all not playing this deck and why the metagame is lower, I think, than what it would be if we had paper magic around with tournaments. If you run blue-green colors, you run URO in 90% of decks. That is very true. You look at every single deck in Modern, the majority of them all run URO if they are blue-green. Infect has been sideboarding in URO in games 2 and 3. Because why not? You're using all these pump spells, you just cast URO, get it back, and you have this engine that runs over your opponent if they don't answer it one time. They still have to answer your 1 and 2 drops, but then you're like, okay, I'll slam URO, let's win the game. I think that's the problem when weird archetypes start running these cards. And that's when I think it has shifted more into a problem than anything else. Okay, next point. It wasn't supposed to exist in an Oko free game. This one is more my own thinking rather than anything else. It's not something I would say is fact, but just my own opinion for this. I guess all of this is opinion, but still. Oko was supposed to be here, but R&D messed up, which it happens. Like, people make mistakes. I know we all saw it. We all knew Oko was broken. They didn't. We'll do a video about that later. But Oko was supposed to be here. URO is not very good in an Oko format. You play both, but you're paying 4 mana to have an elk. So Oko is supposed to be here to defend us against these titans. And he's not. So that's why I think URO's not supposed, URO should not be here because of that. I think the checks and balance that was supposed to keep it in check are gone. So I think URO should be gone as well. One copy is multiple copies. This is what I was trying to get into from the beginning. When I go up against URO, this one copy they cast against me, I've had it cast 6 more times against me. I've had to deal with it. I go, eliminate, okay, cool, bring it back. Eliminate, okay, cool, bring it back. Eliminate, okay, cool, bring it. One copy, it wasn't multiple. It was the one copy that they had that they keep recurring. The amount that you get from one card is so far above everything else in this game, it's insane. That's why I hate this card. I love it, but I hate it, you know? That's my biggest complaint, is that they just need to draw one copy, and with the mechanic of escape, they will keep bringing it back over and over, even if it's just that one single card that they draw. They don't need their other copies. And this is the big thing, I think, pushing it over the edge as to why I would like it banned. The surrounding pieces with green and blue pushing it over the top. Force, Veil, and Mystic Sanctuary. These are the 3 that immediately came to my mind. Force Negation, Veil of Summer, and Mystic Sanctuary. You have the efficiency of Force of Veil being a 2-for-1, but you make up that disadvantage later by casting your URO, but you don't lose the game because you're able to cast URO turn 3, Force Negation, a Teferi, and then move on. And so it makes up that loss that you have. And then Veil Summer, I believe Veil Summer is probably also in 90% of decks that you run URO in the sideboard because of how efficient the card is. Yeah, we'll do a video later on why it should be banned as well, because it's ridiculous. There's too much value with it. You have your 1 mana cryptic command to protect your URO and then run over the game. It's phenomenal how strong that card is mixed with URO. And then one of the biggest things I think is wrong with URO is when you have Mystic Sanctuary in the deck. All these decks that are running URO pretty much all run Mystic Sanctuary. Being able to tutor a card, whatever you need, to cast your URO and draw that. Or being able to lock out people by cryptic command, bounce on Mystic Sanctuary, play it, Mystic Sanctuary, put cryptic back on top, draw with my URO. And then each turn you're locking out your opponent over and over and over. But I think being able to draw with the Mystic Sanctuary out is just insane. I think Mystic Sanctuary should have been banned, but it's still here. But I think it's a big piece as to what allows URO to dominate the meta. And you look at Astrolabe. Astrolabe was banned and people thought that would solve URO. But URO is still a huge piece of the metagame. We're still running 4-color decks with URO, as you can see in my money pile 4-color deck. And finally, that was it. I would like you to decide. Let me know in the comments down below if you think URO is deserving of ban in Modern or not deserving of ban. Or if you think there's points that I missed and you like to say to me, I'm completely fine. I would like to be neutral in this and hear your sides on both and have you voice your opinions with me. Be sure to like and subscribe. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you.